And then a few years go by and COVID happens. And I villainized anybody who didn't wear a mask. And I villainized anybody who refused to get their vaccines. I had 3 vaccinations myself. Made sure I was single, double, triple vaxxed. And my ex-wife told me that the vaccine that she had received almost killed her. And I thought, oh, you're overreacting. And she's my ex. So it's like, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Despite the fact that my ex-wife was very liberal, more liberal than I am. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, I listened, but I thought I'm sure it's probably a number of different factors that, that she's not taking into account, and that vaccinations are good, and there's no way in hell I was going to share her story with the rest of the world and rethink my position on that. No way in hell. Because, the people who wore masks and the people who got vaxxed, they were liberals and left-wingers, and that's who I was, and that's the agenda I'm going to push come hell or high water. And then my ex-wife came to me again, and she said that her job fired her because she refused to get a second shot. And she was afraid for her life, and she had heart palpitations from that first one. She had an irregular heartbeat. She had to go to the emergency room. The kids confirmed what had happened to her in the ER, and they were terrified for the life of her mother. And she was terrified. And she lost her job because of the refusal to get a vaccine. Now, fast forward, my new wife and I, we were triple vaxxed, and we went to Las Vegas, and we both came home with COVID. And we were both sick for 2 weeks, and we both lost our sense of smell and taste. And I was having a hard time breathing. I had asthma, and I was just constantly running to the bathroom to take the inhalers and laying on my stomach. My ex-wife says, lay on your stomach if you find that you're having a difficult time breathing. Use your watch, check your O2 levels, make sure that your O2 levels are above 92%. And I was a little bit scared, and I was triple vaxxed. And I was sick with COVID. A few years later, or another year after that, I got it again. So much for my religious belief in those vaccines, and my judgment of people who opposed the vaccines very quickly eroded. So, like a good liberal who tries to carve a different path in the dialogue, I started pushing back a little bit on the left-wing ideology, starting with what people were terrified of during Biden. Oh, and we loved the fact Biden got elected. That was a wonderful day for us, and we partied, we cheered. Everybody was really, really happy. And then we all got sick.